Yes. So what we'll be going to do is we'll just start our discussion once again. Okay. We'll start our discussion once again. We'll just try to explain it once again. Yeah. So our main topic of this agenda is basically we're going to talk about once method and full method. Okay. Full method, I method, and identity. Okay, these three methods will just try to understand this particularly. Okay, there is a difference, quite difference here. Okay, so that's why I'm taking this particular four methods. We'll be going to talk about overall about this video. Okay, so this was the agenda of today's topic, folks. Okay, so we'll just roll our intro. Okay, in this channel, we'll just talk about tech with Aakash channel. We'll just talk about like relevant technologies related to the data science and all about like technology related videos. We'll just try to talk about. Okay, so here we'll first understand. Okay, we have this understood. Now we'll just try to focus our now main topic now, right? So the one thing is very clear from the previous video, that is that whenever we are using a zero, we are filling with the zeros, right? We are filling with the zeros. Now, whenever we are telling about the ones method here, right? The ones method will talk about that we have to fill with one value, fill with ones. We have to fill with one. Okay. So now this particular thing, how can I implement this particularly now? Right. So how we have to first thing foremost, how to use the library dot the method name, right? So method name is what? Once here. So what I'll be going to write is once here. Once method I will be going to write. And here that is very, very, very clear from the zeros, right? So we'll be just passing here shape. Like shape is nothing but a dimension you are specifying here, right? So you'll be telling that what is the dimension of an array, right? The next thing is you will be telling that this particular values I want to represent it basically. D type is very optional. If you want to write it, you can write it. It is optional part. Okay, you will just try to write it and you will just give to this particular your interpreter. Okay, then it will be going to tell that whatever you have written, that particularly it is given to you, right? That particular thing it will be given to you. This is overall about basically np.ones basically is about now, right? Now it will be going to fill this particularly once. Now we'll just try to move towards our notebook. Okay, I have already prepared for you folks. So I'll just explain you the ones particularly now. Now understand here clearly ones method. Now whenever we are passing here one value, right? So what I am doing here basically, right? So what I am going to do this simple, right? We are filling with the ones. One's objective is about we have to fill with the one value. So one's method I have written. This is a Numpy library alias name that you have given. Alias name is nothing but another name I have given. I am just representing here one's method. That one value I have written, that is a 10, right? You will be understanding that this is a 10 I have given. Why the one it is getting printed? So one's objective is what? We have to filling these values with the ones, right? So what is happening here? 10 columns, 10 column we are filling with the ones, right? Only the one row is it is about, right? So it will be going to fill with the 10, 10 columns with the one get will be getting filled. Now if you're just going to cross check, you'll be just writing the variable name dot enddim. So it will be going to return you the n dimension array here, right? The same thing you will be going to do with the 2D array, but the changes here is what? you'll be passing the dimension and number of rows and number of columns, right? Number of columns and number of rows, right? Number of rows and number of columns you'll be just writing here, right? It will be going to clear understanding that this many number of dimension that I wanted, and it will be going to print it for you. The same case you will be repeating for the 3 dimension as well, 4 dimension, 5 dimension, same thing will be going to repeat it. Okay, so this is about the 1 dimension, folks. I'm not going to detail about it, folks. So everything is very simple. Okay, with from the previous video which we have discussed. Okay, so now we'll just move towards this particular whiteboard, and we'll just try to understand the next method now. Okay, we'll just try to understand the next method. This was about the ones method actually, right? So we'll just try to move towards the next thing. Okay, this was about the ones actually. We'll just clear it off now. Just a minute, folks. I'll just clear it off. Yeah, this here, right? So we have discussed about ones now, right? So we have to discuss about the full now. np.full will be going to discuss now, right? np.full. Okay, why I'm writing np.full is basically it is a numpy library, right? Throughout this video, we are from the past video we are using the np itself alias name, right? You can give your name as well. It is not an like standard convention that you have to use np itself, but make sure that you will be following the industrial practices. Okay, so that particular thing you have to think about it. Okay, so whenever I am writing as a np.full from the past video as well, I am telling how to pass the parameter, right? So 2 parameter mandatory you have to provide. One thing you have to provide is shape of an array. Okay, you have to provide the shape of an array and the fill with the values. You have to fill with the value. Okay, the 2 things that you have to write here basically. What value that you want to fill. Okay, that particular parameter you have to pass it here. Okay, this thing is you have to make sure and you have to understand this particularly while working on the real implementation example. So now we'll just try to understand more clearly by taking an example now. Okay, by taking an example, we'll try to understand. So we'll just try to move towards our Jupyter notebook and we'll try to understand that will in greater detail. Okay, so now see here, this is a particular method now. So what I'll be going to write is, we'll just clear all the drawings and I'll just try to understand. We'll just try to understand this particular full method, right? I hope everyone understood about the theory part, right? So these are the important convention, like what parameters will go into it, right? So see here, what we are doing here is basically, see, now if I'm not giving the fill value here, right, what it will be going to create basically, right? It will not going to work. It is telling that at least you have to provide the value, fill value, right? That is only it is telling, right? So that is only the main purpose of the full method. Okay, so if you don't provide the fill values, then it will not going to take into the consideration, right? So you have to give the value here, you have to give the value here. Okay, understanding, right? So these things you have to considering about. So this is a particular thing, 2 parameters that you have to give. So these things you have to take into the consideration and put it in your mind. Okay, If I'm going to fill with 5 values, it will going to fill with the 5 values. Okay, whatever the values you are giving in the parameter fill underscore value, that will be going to considering it off. This is only the mainly about the fill value method. Okay, so now what I'll be going to do is we'll just straightforwardly move towards our whiteboard and we will try to understand what is this particularly I method basically. Now we'll just try to erase this particularly and we'll just try to understand the I method now. Okay, what is this particular I method is about now? Okay, understand very clearly, understand very clearly and open your ears and try to uh, listen this particular method very clearly, folks. Okay, this is very important. Okay, understand it clearly. What is the purpose about this particular I function? So what is this will be going to do? The two things that you have to taken care about it. Okay. One is it will be going to generate an identity matrix. Okay. It will be going to generate identity matrix. Okay. It will be going to generate identity matrix. Second thing, what it will be going to do is it will going to return the 2D array. Okay, it will going to return a 2D array, two-dimensional. Okay, this particular things will be not going to work well with the 3D. Or if you want to write it, you can just have a try. Okay, as things I'm just going to explain basically. Okay, so what this particularly identity matrix is about now? Now, whenever I'm telling the first point, first idea, so you have to understand it clearly, right? What is this identity matrix is about? Now, understand it clearly, folks. So whenever we are representing the numbers with this format, okay, whenever the diagonal elements is the 1, 1, that is considering it as a identity matrix. Okay, this is nothing but an identity matrix. Okay, this is an identity matrix. So this is a form of an identity matrix. Okay, understand one thing, it is in the matrix form and the 1 is in the diagonal, then such kind of a matrix is nothing but what? Identity matrix. Okay, so this thing is clear. Now we'll just try to implement this particular method and what is the parameters, we'll just try to talk about it. Okay, now I will just take the next and I will just try to explain you what is this particular things we'll be going to talk about it, right? So as we have talked about, right, in p.I, okay, in this particularly, you will be telling that what will the number of rows and what is the number of columns. You'll be just telling that. Okay, that is the same as from the previous. Now, you will be telling that how the diagonal elements has to be represented. That I already told that whenever you are passing, right, it will be generating the one dimension, like it will be generating the uh, identity matrix, right? So this particular you will be altering. Using the I, you will be getting the flexibility in which order that you want to specify this particular diagonal element 1. Okay, that is only the K will be going to decide. So K is nothing but a 0. But if you are not providing here, so by default, it will be considering here as the main diagonal, right? So it will be considering it as 0, 1, -1, -2, so on. Like it will depends upon the shape of an array basically. Okay. If you want to discuss about the array, folks, you can just watch the NumPy's playlist if you are not watched. You'll get a clear understanding about the array methods. So this was about I method. Okay, we'll just try to uh, go to particular notebook actually now, right? So now here see very clearly here, right? So I method is very clear. Now you will understand this particular. I will just not already. I hope everyone understood the way of explanation I have did. Okay, so I'll just walk you through this particularly example now. Okay, see, whenever I'm telling that, see, this is a number of rows and number of columns, and you are telling that to your method here, a main diagonal, right? That whatever you are telling that, the as it is identity matrix is how the identity matrix is representing, like that only it is representing, right? Now, if I'm just trying to change it here into a one, right? So what it will be going to do? It will be going to create like this. If I'm just trying to tell that k equal to 2, it will be going to 1 will be going to represent it like this, right? So it is going to change, right? The order is getting changed. So this is a particular how you can change that flexibility you will be getting. If you're not representing, it will be representing as the main diagonal. Okay, how the identity matrix it is generating, like that only it will be going to generate. Okay, so this is about the I method, folks. Okay, so this particular thing is clear, right? So if I want to represent, see, if I want to represent a identity matrix, so which particular method I'll be just using that? np.identity, right? The same thing, right? So in the I, what it is same, but here not you will be not getting a flexibility to change the order of that matrix. Okay, now this is clear, right? So the next method, I'll just explain you this identity now. Sorry, folks, I have to represent this particular method. I have to explain it before. Okay, see here. I method is what it will be going to do. It is giving you the flexibility to change the order of the ones, right? Now see here, if I'm just writing here np dot identity of, let's say I'm just providing here here like 2 comma 3, 1 comma 3. So what it is telling? So you have to represent something, some order you have to represent. See, if I'm just writing like this, going to work exactly, right? It is telling that it should be a number of rows. There is a mistake in the parameters. So we'll just, something errors will come. Don't forget about it. Okay. Just try to check the parameters. What parameters it is taking. Okay. So what we have to tell is like, we have to just only tell that how many number of rows is it is about. Okay. Number of rows and number of columns. Okay. So we have to represent only one number. So one rows, number of rows and number of columns should be same here. Okay. Then it will be working in the identity matrix. See, if I'm just writing the one, it will be going to create one D array. If I want 2D array, I'll just write it 2D array going to create. So we were getting the flexibility. See here, this is the changes here in this particular. Okay, np.identity. See, this is only that is telling. So okay, you have to tell that I wanted only the number of rows and number of columns will be the same picks. Actually, see here, by this example, it is very clear, right? So this is about the identity, folks. In the next video, we'll just start understanding pretty more methods on the NumPy. So you will get at least idea like what are these methods will be going to talk about basically, right? So it will be very clearer, like what is the purpose about it, why we are using this, what is the use of that, at least you will get an idea. Then when you are working on the project, that will be very easier for to understand it clearly. Okay, so this is about this video, folks. Okay, like detailed video about like I function, full function, identity, ones method. Okay, that's all about this, folks. Okay, if you like this video, you can just subscribe to my channel and you can just share it too with your friends. Okay, this is what the detailed video about it. If you have any doubts, you can just comment down in the comment section. Okay, comment down in the comment section, or you will get. I'll just personally, I will just uh, solve your doubts. Okay, so you can just do like you can just like put into the comment section. And if you like this channel, you can just subscribe to my channel actually. Okay, all right, folks. So happy learning. Stay safe, stay healthy, and keep learning. Okay, that's all about this, folks. Okay.